we now move to the Private Members Bill for introduction. Animal Health and Welfare Bill, Ban on Fox Hunting Bill 2025, first stage. I call on Deputy Ruth Coppinger to now move for leave to introduce the bill.
Thanks, Count Corla. I seek leave to introduce the Animal Health and Welfare Ban on Fox Hunting Bill 2025. And I understand we have an unprecedented situation where there's a deputy going to oppose that, but I'll come back to that later. With fox hunting banned in England, Scotland and Wales, Ireland has become an outlier. In fact, it's ironic that the colonial powers that introduced fox hunting into this country have banned it, and it's still retained as a relic here. In 1998, there was a code of conduct introduced for fox hunting, packs approved by the Minister, and it's become a farcical situation. It eliminated none of the cruelty, which makes fox hunting one of Ireland's most inhumane activities. Now, foxes are still dug out of the ground, attacked by trained terriers. Foxes are still chased by packs of dogs, sometimes for hours, and torn apart when caught. If a domestic animal was treated in this way, there would be an absolute outcry. A Red C poll that was done found that 77% of the population wants fox hunting banned. And by the way, this is not an urban versus rural issue, as some may try to claim, because 74% of people in rural areas also thought that fox hunting should be banned. It's not a major activity by a lot of people in rural areas, and part of the rural opposition comes from farmers themselves who have illegal hunts or hunts going over their lands without causing them problems, and actually, according to one person, causing them €6,000 in damage. Country pursuits that could replace fox hunting would be drag hunting, for example, which is something that could be done. Now, so my bill, the Animal Health and Welfare Bill, aims to amend the Animal Health and Welfare Act 2013, which has an exemption for hunting in section 12. It states a person shouldn't do anything to cause or permit anything to be done to an animal that causes unnecessary suffering, or endangers the health or welfare of an animal, or is carried out recklessly. All of those things obviously apply to fox hunting. And we need to now add into this section that fox hunting is an illegal, unlawful activity. And that's what this aims to do. It also brings in trail hunting, snaring and the trapping of foxes, because those have proven to be loopholes in the UK. So I believe fox hunting is a cruel and inhumane so-called blood sport, and it clearly causes unnecessary suffering. Packs of dogs chasing after a fox relentlessly is obviously a very stressful and unnatural situation. So fox hunting has been banned for over 2 decades in Britain, and I fail to understand why anyone would defend it here. The fox is a mammal native to Ireland. It's part of Ireland's biodiversity. And fox hunting is of no benefit to anybody. Foxes are our last wild dog in Ireland, and they should be protected. And we need to put it up to TDs to stand up and to do that. According to experts, foxes should live to the age of 10. Many only live to age 2. So we should be protecting foxes from hunting. It's only one of the threats, obviously, to them. There are a lot of arguments that are put up in relation to fox hunting, and they are spurious. For example, it's said that we need to keep down the fox population. When fox hunting was banned in Britain, it had no impact on the fox population. Like foxes didn't suddenly increase at all. So it's a spurious argument. It's also the case that foxes naturally control their own environment, and they also control rodent and rabbit populations, which cost farmers a lot of money as well. So they actually can save farmers money, arable farmers in particular, who suffer a lot from the rabbit population. So hunting in the UK hasn't led, as has been said, to a massive increase in foxes. Neither would shooting be any less, which is often something that is put forward. Both actually are carried out together. I just want to finish by the proposal to oppose this motion. It's actually unprecedented for a TD to stand up and try to prevent a bill from reaching the second stage for debate. I've introduced bills on repeal, which people didn't agree with. They were always allowed to go to second stage. I've introduced many controversial things, as have other TDs. I've never stopped a bill from going to second stage, and I've been told to put on the big girl pants and allow debate, and here we have a stifling of the freedom of debate and freedom of speech. So I ask TDs and the government to reject this.
Thank you, Deputies. And the question is now, after the Deputies' 5 minutes, is the bill being opposed?
Not opposed.
Not opposed. It's
opposed.
opposed. Okay. Well, Deputies, I call then on Deputies Michael Collins and Deputies to share time, 2.5 minutes each.
Indeed, Concordia, and you know, people are being criticised for their views inside here in Dail, which we're well entitled to put forward a difference to what Deputy Coppinger has put forward, and we will be opposing the Animal Health and Welfare Bill in relation to the fox hunting. I suppose, look, we need to, get a few facts straight here. Foxes are classified as a pest species. That is a fact, whether we agree or disagree. That is the facts. There's 150 to 200,000 foxes at the moment, and they are can cause a serious concern to many farmers out there, and have done through the years. And we have to have some kind of controls, because the next thing we'll be inside here looking to see, can we protect the rat and the mouse or whatever, and nobody wants to protect the human beings. That's the problem here. From what I can see here, we have very serious concerns. There is regulation there at the moment, and there's potential punishments for violation in relation to the particular animal welfare, and the timing of the hunts. The fines are substantial if there's wrongdoing found, reaching to 10,000 on a summary conviction, or 250,000, and imprisonment of up to 5 years if there's an indictment and a charge pressed and proof given. There are also fixed penalty payments for lesser offences. So foxes do pose huge threats to farmers. As I said, you know, I suppose if you were brought up in rural Ireland, you'd understand that. How many times have I heard down through the years that a fox broke into the hen yard and destroyed every hen that was inside in the yard? They're also a threat to our native birds, whether we like that. They're also a threat to our young lambs. So we do have to have controls in relation to the fox, controls in relation to the hare, and we shouldn't be afraid to say that in this house, because, sorry, I know, is that a lamb or what? But so we will, Independent Ireland will certainly be opposing this bill going forward. I think that if we can, at some stage, put in further protections, yes, at some stage, but we do have to control pests in this country, and I certainly will be one of those opposing this. And, you know, people are, down through the years, treated like as if they're, you know, being unfair to animals out there, when I don't always agree that that is the case, because there certainly is controls and people have respect for certain areas. So Independent Ireland are opposing this.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to get the opportunity to oppose this proposal by Deputy Coppinger, and she said she was amazed that anyone would stand up and talk against this proposal. I have to tell you, Concordia, that from every corner of Kerry, people have rang, sent emails and all kinds of messages to ensure that we stop this where it's being tried to start. Because every one of us know that's living in rural Ireland and the rural parts of Ireland, we know that the damage that the fox has done and is doing, and the numbers have increased to a massive amount altogether. And indeed, one of my sons had lambs, and he would, they tried their very best, and all the farmers around them, they practically have a third of their lambs taken this year. And the man at the top of the Pike Hill the other day that came to me with his story, he had 12 hens. And when he went out one evening, there was only one there. The fox took 11 of them. And I don't know if Deputy Coppinger really knows the consequences of her motion here, and the fact that the foxes, the numbers have increased dramatically. They're all over the place. They're coming into towns and villages. They're in and out of bins, and they're everywhere. They've taken over. They've gone completely taken over the place. And and then I have to say, for the respectable gun clubs that do the fox hunting and do the farmers a favour, and who operate legally. They have legally held guns and they do it all above board. They haven't been doing it traditionally back over the years. And they operate to the highest standard. To those people, I salute them, and I'll stand with them here today. And I'm asking the government to consider what's happening here, because you hear the Pindian farmers for a lot of your votes around the country, and especially the hill farmers down in South Kerry, who depend on the land for their produce after feeding them for the year. I certainly am opposing this motion, and I'm calling a vote.
Thank you. Thank you. Just a second, please, the members. Sorry, Chief Whip.
Could I have a quick word?
A quick word.
In order to be helpful, Deputies, as is normally the case with private members' business, the bill will not be opposed at first stage. That is the process. If and when the bill is listed for second stage, like all other private member business, the government will then consider the matter at that point.
That's okay. That's just a second. Just a second, Deputy. You're not calling any vote. If I'm going to call a vote, I'll let you know. But just a second, Ben or Noreen. Question as normal, which is that leave to introduce the bill be granted. Deputy. To the voting block on Wednesday, it will be put to the deferred divisions. Thank you, Deputies.